Hey guys, welcome back to Open Spaces. We are continuing on this week in our community series, and we have a very special treat today, boys only.
Well, girls can listen, but it is about, it's me talking to the two guys that I walk with the most here in Atlanta. And last week, if you journey with us, last week we were sitting down with them and their wives. So there was the six of us talking about how we do community together. And then today, we're actually diving in a little bit deeper with just me and the two guys about what our time looks like together. That's been a big question that people have asked. So,
you guys gonna share your secrets?
Yeah, we share. Just wait till the very end, because by the end, you're like, I can't believe that is what they struggle with.
Don't turn it off.
But I will say that these guys are incredible men who love the Lord.
That's right.
Who desire to walk with the Lord and be close to Him. And so I'm just so grateful to walk life with them. And yeah, so I hope you gain something today. And I just want you to, even if you're a guy who's like, being vulnerable is hard, or you don't think you need it, I would just please stick with us and listen and be encouraged today that I really think this is the way that the Lord has designed it for us to be open and accountable to each other in order to push us towards Jesus. So
that's right.
Stay with us, listen to the episode. We're so glad you're journeying with us. Thanks for being here.
Welcome back.
All right, guys, welcome back to Open Spaces. Today we are sitting with my two best friends that in Atlanta, Georgia, that we sit down weekly as much as we can. Let's start from the beginning of being honest.
That's true.
But we try our best to do weekly. But we have a 10-year journey of walking life together, and it's progressed over the 10 years. We've been in it. Jordan and I've lived in Atlanta 10 years. So it's been 10 years of us like walking through life and us sharing our story with y'all. And it's not just about us sharing our story with y'all. Like that was a big piece of the whole puzzle, but also it was y'all sharing your story with us. It's not like y'all are just my support group. We support each other in everything that we're doing. And we've walked for 10 years in a way that it's, I think we have learned a lot about what it truly is to have close friendships, accountability, and the way that we actually are doing life together. It's funny today, our wives are sitting in the room too. They're not on screen, but they're in the room.
They're so supervising.
Yeah, they're hearing everything as well as you. So like, don't worry, everything will be said. But also that what could be helpful for context is last week we did a whole episode with our wives. And it was awesome just to kind of hear the whole journey about like our friendship developing. But for those of you who haven't listened to that, just to give a little context, let's talk about how we met and talk just briefly about like how we started all of this and how the friendship began. So
I think it's important because most people see like the 10-year version of our friendship.
Yep.
And they're like, and they don't realize that it grows over time.
Yes.
Right. And we are way different friends now than we were 5 years ago, which we were, before that. So one of the, you guys somehow, we were all running marathons, but somehow, because you guys are more social than me, you're like, let's do one together, which sounds like a nightmare to me. And then we can train together, and then we can do this together,
great.
And we can do this together, and somehow
wasn't that the moment though that in life that weren't you running like a marathon every like?
One time I ran 4 in 1 year, and so you guys were like, let's do one together.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to train per se for it.
And
you guys had
you were just
before.
along for the ride.
Okay.
Yeah, but we were just
somehow the marathon brought us together.
And we got in the car. We went to
because our wives came to the
Creek,
marathon,
which was in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
We drove to North Carolina, which we have come to learn that the car is one of the greatest places for us to really get close because you get all this time together. But we drove up there to do that, and we really opened up. Yeah. And I had already shared. We had shared with Bryson and his wife Emily our story recently, and then on that drive back, Kristian and Carrie were asking questions about.
We were just
life.
getting to know an edited version of your life story.
Yes,
and there were gaps.
There were gaps, and you had questions.
We had questions,
and I was being vague.
Yeah,
and then we ended up getting back to town, and like soon after that, went to dinner together, which Jordan and I then unpacked our whole story to you and Carrie. Y'all met us with such grace. Bryson and Emily as well. It was incredible. And that's when we realized these are the people that we want to do life with, because y'all were so kind and loving to us.
We were still trying to decide if we wanted to do life with you.
Oh, you were? You were like, do I accept him or not? I don't know about this guy.
But it is true in life. You don't always get to pick your friends. Like, I feel like God inserted you into our lives in a way. Obviously, we had to lean towards you. We had to trust God with you. But I think there's some people that are going to be listening to this and they're like, I want friends like that. And I would say you got to lean forward and you got to open up to someone. You got to give it time. And also, like, you can't like manufacture this.
Yes.
There's no formula.
Yeah.
And we all know that. Like, friendships don't have formula.
Right.
There are some principles and some things that we learn from each other that, like, man, this is what it means to be a good friend. And I've learned a ton of that from both of you guys.
Well, it's also interesting because, like, we're not similar in many. I mean,
very different.
We're very different. So it's not like we're like, oh, we all love these same things. Like, we do love some of the same things. Like Kristian and I, like clothes, like
and smells,
and face products,
and music.
And anybody who knows me is like,
and Bryson,
I don't even wash my
I
face at
guarantee
night.
he's one of my biggest projects about washing his face and put some serum on it. Like, come on.
I do remember when it started to get out that the three of us were hanging out.
People started hearing.
People were like scratching their head a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you had come on staff at Passion City.
Yes.
We were on the worship team together.
Yeah.
And we saw each other every day.
Yeah.
And very quickly. Like, we like a lot of the same stuff.
Yes.
But they were like, but Bryson
doesn't. One of these is not like the other. But
it's actually what's made it work.
It's actually what's made
it
work.
Your personality,
yes.
because we're feelers and we like are so. We'll be able to cry easily. And have you cried? Like,
oh my gosh.
But it also works. It also works because I really understand where your wives are coming from a lot, because we're not the same. Like, it's not like I'm the exact same as both y'all's wives, but
but you are similar to Jordan.
Yeah,
like
we're both Enneagram 1s. We talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, so that actually makes it work.
It works.
It makes it work.
I think the common thread, like the through line with this friendship, is that all of us are willing to be human and be real, which I think that's how this all like glues together. Is each of us have our own personality, but we're all willing to open up the door, pull back the curtain, and go, I want to let you in.
Which is super important, because a lot of guys are like hunting friends or sports friends or name whatever the thing is, and that's what make people come together. For us, it's definitely Jesus, and it's like we want to be these kind of dads and these kind of husbands. So we all, but like, I'm a big sports guy. I can sometimes get Kristian to
depends on the sport.
Depends on the sport. But Jeff is like clueless about sports.
Yeah, but I'll come to the Super Bowl party and we will have a great time.
Just because there's good commercials.
Yeah, and good conversation during we'll talk. We'll talk about stuff. Yeah. So that is true. We actually we work. We work really well together. Talk through. So we didn't just meet 10 years ago and then just start diving into like, now, hey, you want to have coffee every week and like start talking. That all developed over vulnerability, opening up, sharing each other's stories with each other, talking honestly, us going through really hard things, like, and knowing that we needed somebody in our life, and we're starting to build that with each other. So we just kept leaning into each other, and it wasn't always like it was easy just to like jump straight in and start sharing. So that was work. It took work, and we actually made it a priority. We also realized the importance of like that for our marriages, that it was, I mean, I would say it was like a non-negotiable for my marriage. Would you all say the same?
Yes.
For sure. Yes. Just that our marriages were better because we were talking, and our wives trusted us more because they knew that we had this accountability going. And it didn't always look like this program, like, but it was just openness, honesty that was being formed over a lot of hard thing being refined in our life, in our own areas, with hard things. So let's talk about, I don't know, should we talk about how we got to where we are now? Like, I mean, just like with where
I think we're always challenging each other. So at one point I challenged you guys to say, hey, like, we can go deeper.
Yes.
We can be more real with each other.
Yep.
And
because I thought we were, but I remember the moment that you were like, hey, we're not really like walking together.
And then
so I was like, well, we know each other in really well. And but when you said it, it was convicting, and I was like,
yeah, I think when you when you get to the place where you're like, I don't want to tell anybody this, but there's someone that's like makes you tell it to them.
Yeah.
You just don't get there overnight.
Yes.
Someone has to go first. Someone has to, it's a process is what I want people to know is like, and it's not one person fighting for it. We're all fighting for it.
Yep.
Like in different seasons, in different ways. But you do have to have that common desire to be like, I do not want this to be surface. And then you have to know your why, like, because I want to be a different kind of dad. I want to be a different kind of husband. I want to be a different kind of friend.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think we all have that in our own unique ways, and not one of us carries that. We carry it at different times for each other.
Yes. Yeah. One other thing in how you find people, I think people might be wondering, how do you find those guys? For me, I respected you both. And I think that's important. I respected you as dads, as leaders, and like and your desire to walk with Jesus, and to like that was your goal. So like that was who I wanted to anchor my life with, is like the guys that like I wanted to look like, because we become who we are hanging out with. So I knew that like if I was with y'all, I'd be better. So that's kind of how I evaluated at the beginning, kind of like who are these guys, and is this who I want to be like? Yeah. So that was like the beginning of it. But let's get to.
Well, I do want to say that I think it took like you're very magnetizing, and you draw people in, and you lean.
Say more about that.
You lean.
Say more. We have plenty of time.
You're very magnetic.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we have plenty of time. Expound.
But you also lean toward people like relentlessly. So like you wouldn't let me like get away with just like a surface answer, or just like playing around on the surface. You were like constantly pushing and probing. And I was like, God, this guy will not let up. And I think
sometimes that's a sign to run, by the way.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like,
so
but
you
I
ask
honestly,
yourself a couple questions.
But
if you
honestly,
meet somebody like
did it
that.
bother you at times? Were you like, stop pushing? I just want to like have fun, or like?
No, it didn't bother me. I just, looking back, I didn't have a mechanism for that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really have anyone doing that.
Yeah.
And so it did continue to push me further, into vulnerability and transparency.
Yeah.
Which I think ultimately, like I need that personally. I need someone who's going to keep calling, keep texting, keep reaching out until finally I'm like, you know what, Jeff? I think he wants to be my friend.
I get it now. Oh, okay.
That's just how dense I can be relationally. And it took that. And I think finally I'm like, oh, Jeff wants to be my friend.
Yeah.
And then I just acquiesced.
And here we are. All these years later. Bryson, what did you think?
I do remember the first time we had lunch, and you came at pretty strong, because I think I had written like a welcome card to you, and you came in.
Oh my God. No, you spoke my love language. I had just got on staff at Passion, and I came back to my little desk and sat down, and there was a card on it. And at that time, I was not a pastor of the church. You were. But I opened it, and it was like, I'm so glad you're here. I just love that you're part of our team. And I was like, I just wanted to come find you and hug you. I was like, this guy is amazing. So yes, I remember that note. I'm sure I have it still somewhere. I still, every night I hold it. My
major difference between me and Jeff. Like I would have thought it was nice, but it wouldn't have really done anything for me. But we sat down for lunch, and you were like, you leaned in really quick, and I kind of like Kristian was like, wow, this guy really wants to be friends. And, over time, it just reciprocated, like, which is really important. Friendship, I think people just need to know it takes time. It's a process. Like sometimes like Jeff does make things happen overnight. I mean, it's very real. He can, but this
look at us. We're here doing a podcast in his living room,
which I love.
Which
so y'all, we're going to come back
over
so
time.
many times. Yeah.
So at some point it evolved to us saying, hey, we need to meet every week. I think our wives are already doing it. We need to meet every week because we need to put a little structure around this.
Yeah.
Because we figured out how to do unstructured. We figured out how to have fun. We figured out how to do stuff, go on trips together, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, let's put a little structure around this. That's probably my go-to, like consistency and structure. And so we did it. You guys like went along with it.
We do lean on you for that.
And then even to the point, like we didn't have a day of the week. We still don't really have a day of the week. We've in seasons where someone has to send this text and say, what day are we meeting this week?
Yeah.
Where are we meeting? What time? We get tired of doing that.
Yeah.
I had to do it in the beginning, and then now we do it together.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys talk about like when we do sit down, what do we do?
Yeah.
Well, let me just say first, practically, like that's one of the first things you have to do is decide to put it on the calendar. And we all have busy lives, things going on, kids, families, all the things. But we have made a commitment to put it on the calendar. That's a very small thing. But when I see that on my calendar and I know it's coming, one, honestly, it inspires me toward holy living.
Yeah.
Like throughout the week. Like I go, I know I'm meeting with these guys this week. And I want to make decisions because I know I'm gonna sit with you guys on whatever day it is, and I'm gonna tell you how it's been going.
Yeah.
So I think that's step number one, put it on the calendar.
Yes.
Like make a commitment to do it.
Yes. And then when we actually like show up, and we'll talk about when we aren't able to meet during that week. But when we show up, we sit down. I mean, practically, we like typically are meeting at
Coffee shop.
We get there, we get our coffee, we come sit down at the table, and we know it's just like an unspoken at this point. But like we know that like each person, we're gonna have a moment. Like we start off, and it's not like sit down and like heavy. Like okay, like we laugh, we have fun, we do life, we're relational. So we're catching up on everything that's happened, and maybe we haven't seen each other, we've traveled, and like tell us about it. Like, so there's a lot of that.
But the difference between this meeting and every other meeting is we know somewhere
It's
pretty
turning.
early on where it's going to turn, and one of us will say, hey, Jeff, tell us about your week.
You go first. Yeah.
And when we say that, you can't answer with a shallow response.
That's right.
And we had to get there, right?
Yes.
So at first it was like really specific, like what are you struggling with this week? What's an imaginary conversation you're having this week? What is God teaching you this week? Like all that. Now
What
we
lie
know
are you listening to in your head?
Yeah, now we know because we can ask real specific questions.
Yes.
But then you talk for a while
Yes.
and we listen.
And I'll share, and I try to in my mind. It's funny talking about this because we never really like talk about the steps.
Yeah, it's not. We don't have a program
Yeah,
meeting
it's not.
before or after.
But like I'm thinking, like I'm telling you, I'm kind of going through the buckets in my mind of the things that have happened that over the week that have really either thrown me off or like where I've been really tempted, or if it was some guy at the gym or some, I'm telling y'all all this of like, or Instagram, if it's a problem for me, and I'll share those things with you guys. And I think it's important too that you're not trying, you aren't fixing me. And you're not trying to be, but you do ask good questions, and you're like, okay. And if I'm tempted in a way that you can see leading towards something, you're definitely not going to leave me there. It's not like you're like, oh, thank you for sharing. Like you're like, hey, well, what have you thought about? Like, how have you actually mentally gone down that road, or like talk about that, or and y'all are really good at listening to it, and not like trying to fix it. So I know that in my mind, I'm going through all the buckets of like the temptations, the struggles, and the things that I just can't say to anyone else that like sound crazy in my mind. I think that that's something that I'm so grateful for where we are, because I don't have to filter. I can just say the thing, and I know that y'all are not going to be like, did you really mean that? Like I can just say what I'm
I think one area that
processing.
we've grown is also be able to celebrate together without feeling like you're bragging about something.
That's so true.
I mean, there's so much in life that you're like, man, my wife and I, this great thing happened, or I think I was like actually a good parent for once. I'm a bad parent all the other time.
You got to celebrate the wins, man.
Yes.
And so we try to celebrate.
Yeah.
And
We've definitely gotten
Kristian's
better.
super optimistic. So he's great at it. But we are a little bit harder on ourselves.
But
probably.
he's not. I mean, but even with himself, like we have to be like, do you realize that's amazing that you just did that?
You're right.
Like
Totally.
Because that's that's just part
You
of.
guys have helped me learn how to share things that are going on.
Yes.
Because it's loving to like includes you guys and what's going on.
Yes, like where you're writing, what songs you're releasing. Like we want to hear about that, so we have to ask you like what's happening. Like, or you're not typically prone to just like share all that and start telling us, but like you've gotten so much better in that, and we all have. We've all started just like saying the thing and not feeling like we need to filter anything.
Yeah. So a practical thing, if guys are listening to this and want to try this, is make sure that you're sharing detailed, heart level, soul level stuff, and also feel like you can share the good stuff, knowing that these friends are not going to judge you either way. And if you go too far left or too far right or whichever, they'll tell you. They'll tell you. We actually had that moment one time. We were in a car together, and because we do a lot of time, we have great conversations in the car. I think for dudes, it's because you're not making eye contact and you're like just like driving. There's something else happening. And for us, one of us might be in the back seat, two of us might be in the front seat or whatever, and there's no distractions.
Yes.
We are rarely ever on our phones together, which is very, because when we are together, we're like, we don't get this very much.
Yeah. And that was on Kristian's birthday trip that the three of us went somewhere, and we just had so much time in the car, and it was.
And honestly, I'll say this. Too much time for me. Like, I'm an introvert. So we would get
Jeff and I would look up and be like, where'd Bryson go?
Bryson's just gone.
So we'd
get to the hotel and be like, well, Bryson's going to leave for a while. Like, he's an introvert. He can't
I need
be with
a couple
us.
hours by myself. We slept in the same hotel room, whatever.
And we can
drive
respect
for
that.
5 hours.
Yes.
So it's okay. You got to be yourself. If you can't be yourself with these people, like with this group of guys, then it's not going to work.
That's right. Yes, but we have definitely realized the car is a really great place.
Yeah.
And we take trips with our wives, and that's like where we always like start sharing everything in the car.
So one of those trips, we got to this point where even in our friendship, it was like another level, because we got to this conversation of like, hey, do you think we have enough courage to actually tell each other what we think your blind spot is? And you'd be like, oh, of course you do. But when you really know there's that thing that I've always wanted to say to Jeff, or Jeff's always wanted to say to me.
Oh my gosh, that you haven't said.
And you haven't said it. And it's probably good that you haven't said it, because you can't say some of those things at a 1 hour coffee on a Wednesday morning.
Yep.
You need more space.
And you need permission.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we did that. It was a couple hour conversation when we were driving across somewhere out west.
Oh, we were in the car for
So long.
like 5 hours.
That's because Bryson planned our trip, and he loves, and we use miles,
Yeah.
and we always find the cheapest way.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to fly through a few airports, and you land somewhere, and you got to drive for 10 hours, and then you get there, and
We
it's like, but
drove-
we saved money.
We were driving from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, back to Denver, to
Yes.
the Denver airport.
Yes.
And it was a full day of driving, so we had plenty of time.
Yes.
And we talked the whole time. And
Yes.
we just went around the car. And it was Bryson's turn, then it was my turn, then it was Jeff's turn, and we got to say the thing that
Yeah.
here's a blind spot in your life maybe you can't see, but we, from the outside looking in, as someone who's known you for almost 10 years,
Yeah.
here's what we can say to you. And it was hugely helpful
Yeah.
and revelatory to hear you guys say these things to me, and to think, oh my goodness, like, and then you can see it, like the
Yes.
light hits it, you see it, you go, oh my, I think this is like a defining moment for
Yes.
me.
I mean, it is true that most men, I don't know about girls, but most men go through their whole life and they've never had anyone tell them that.
You need to tell them what their blind spot.
Their blind spot.
Because we don't operate in that way in a relationship where you're almost. People don't even think about that though. Like
Yeah.
that is kind of like, I wouldn't have thought about it, but then when you ask,
Yeah,
like,
it's
hey,
just
let's talk
like
about our blind
really
spots.
going deep with someone and really feeling safe enough
Yeah.
where someone can really call you out and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. The other thing that makes it work is there's three of us. And
Yes.
some people would think that's weird because there's like a third wheel or whatever at different times. It actually makes it great. We never team up on each other,
Right.
but we are able to come around each other. So having a hard conversation like that when it's not just one-on-one, I think it's easier.
A cord of three strands.
Oh gosh.
I mean, but it's true.
It
It's
is
like,
true.
it's so much better. I think it really does work because it just does. It's just so helpful, even within the three of us, to have the accountability together. And I love that it's the three of us.
Yep. A couple other just things I would say when we're at the coffee shop, we don't pray for each other. It's just, that's kind of awkward, right? And the way we would pray for each other would be really like serious or intimate. So we're not doing that there. We pray for each other a lot.
Yeah.
And then, but not like there. When we're even hanging out with our wives, we might just like stop and start praying for somebody about something if they're going through something hard, because at some point in life you realize we're not going to fix this. Like we're not going to we just need like God to just give us peace on this.
Yeah.
And then why don't you talk about like, there's a lot of weeks where we can't get together because one of us is traveling. Why don't we talk about like how that works?
So when we can't meet, we actually send voice text. And I remember being with someone recently that, I don't know if like I sent them a voice text that was like over 3 minutes or something. And they were like, you think I'm gonna listen to all that? That's crazy. Why would you send it? And I'm like, oh, you have no idea. Then
I'm being kind.
I'm being so kind to you because we send like 5 to 10 minute voice text and share, hey, this is what's happening this week, or and we just and we're not keeping those messages. They go away. We're not saving them on
this
each other's.
message will self-destruct.
Sometimes we do send 30-second texts because we've learned that one of the things that has driven me nuts about myself in the past is like, I should really reach out to someone while I'm feeling tempted about something or while I'm in a hole.
Yeah.
And then I don't. And then like 3 days later, we're having coffee and you guys are like, why didn't you just call me?
Right.
And calling is different because calling is two-way, but a voice text is, I just need to confess something. I just need you to pray for me, whatever. So we send those too, but we also send really long ones.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We and we have like, we've confessed through voice text and just said, this is what's happening. I think the difference for me in the past, the way I thought of accountability was that when I sent the voice text, it meant that there would be a lot of questions asked back, or, like, okay, well, I'm trying to think, like
it feels like an investigation.
Yes,
happening.
it would be more extensive, and it felt like too much to send because I'm like, well, if I send this, then it's going to be like. But what I have appreciated about us is that we're able to send it, and we do care. We are praying, we are encouraging, sending a response back, like I'm praying for you, thank you for saying that. But we're not sitting back like, hey, don't have you thought about this or that? Like, obviously we're in it, and you're like, but we have learned quick confession. And I think that's been a big part, because I think talk about that. Like, why does it matter if you confess right away, or if you are, why would we not wait, until we're back together next week? What's the difference? Why does it matter?
For me, it's the leaving behind. So it's leaving something behind. If I don't say it out loud, I just stay in this cul-de-sac of temptation or sin. And the second I send it, and I know you guys know, and you're responding, even if you just like the text, and I know, okay, then it's like there's a break. There's like, that confession is healing.
Yes.
And I think it's also important to say that the goal of all of this is sanctification. Like that's right. It's the process of becoming more like Christ, which is why we do this. And when we confess, there is healing, and we do move on from that back into holy living. And so I think that's why it's important to have that quick confession. Also, if you're not confessing quickly, we all know things can spiral. Things just continue to snowball. Things get worse. You start making excuses. And before you know it, you're somewhere, you're like, well, I wish I had said it like up here, so I hadn't like spiraled all the way down here. And so I think that's why it's important to say it right away.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why, because it just matters to get it out, move on. Also, you don't want to live in shame, secrecy.
Right.
And what we have noticed is that it has definitely killed those things when we say it right away.
I think one thing that like this audience for sure will want us to talk about is, I'll say it first, is we're all sinners. So like we all have temptation. We all struggle with things. I love on this podcast week after week after week, Jeff, you're talking about how you fight, and we fight with you. We do that together. Our church even has this thing for men called fight clubs. Like we use that language where we really want to like stand with each other and fight for each other. Yeah. Fight for purity. But it looks different for all of us. But it's still the same. Like when you're confessing something, or you're talking about being tempted, and I am, or Kristian is, it's actually different for all three of us in different ways. But sin is sin. Like we're trying to live in the way of Jesus, and we're trying to be more like Jesus. Yep. And so I would say that to someone, if you struggle with same-sex attraction like Jeff, you might really think like, oh, no one's going to be able to understand this. Any person on planet Earth that sins does understand it. It's not the same.
Yes.
There's a lot of differences. but at the bedrock of it,
right.
I want to live holy, and I'm not.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what these kind of relationships help.
That's exactly right.
We said this at we were speaking at this church conference last week, and somebody had asked, like, how do I don't struggle with same-sex attraction, so how do I help somebody in it? And I was like, instantly, I just was like, but you struggle with sin, and so you know exactly what it's like to walk through. You're equipped to help somebody. And I think that that's where I have normalized my thing with you guys and realized that the lie and the secret was that, or for me, the lie and the shame came from thinking that this thing was unrelatable. But y'all have really helped me see that it is relatable because y'all have opened up about your things. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like it's actually, we're all fighting our sin and you're going to help me fight mine without saying, oh, yours is worse. Cause that's not biblical anyway. So like, it's been very awesome over these last 10 years for me to just normalize my sin with y'all, and which has in turn helped me live a holy lifestyle and stay in it, stay in the fight, and not feel like I'm so other than no one can understand me. Because like when you start doing that, that's when you start like isolating and saying no one gets me, no one understands me. Well, yes, they do. It just is the actual thing is different, but you can relate into what it's like to deny your flesh. Yeah, I mean that's what we're all trying to do. It's like we're all trying to do that. Deny your flesh, pick up your cross daily, follow Jesus. What's that look like? It's all different for us, but that's where we sit together. And when we all share, it's like, how's it different for you? Yep. How's it different for you? Here's how it's looking for me.
I think about that passage in Romans 8, where it talks about the spirit and the flesh, and that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Now, what our flesh wants is different. And I'm not just talking about like purity or lust or that. I'm not just talking about the difference between being attracted to men or women. Like if that's the only thing that you're talking about, then you're probably not going deep enough. There's a lot of things with greed, with money, with jealousy,
for y'all, like mine is only same-sex attraction.
Yeah.
But like I know that envy and those things are part of y'all's stories.
And you're so empathetic when we talk about these things.
Because I'm like I'm trying to relate, but I guess because mine's sin. And
now let's totally be honest though.
I'm envious. I get it.
Since you and Jordan have shared your story, I've definitely had friends of ours that have come to me and say, how in the world how are you like, not how are you friends with Jeff, but you're not just friends with Jeff, like you're in accountability with Jeff. And like, how does that work? And I'm like, just like it works with anybody else.
Yeah.
It's not any different.
Yeah.
Now I'll say I've been on a journey of feeling more comfortable, not like, with your struggle, because it was very foreign to me.
Yeah.
And when I was in college, I had 30 dudes who was like struggled with lust with women.
Yep.
And that became very normal to me. It's no different.
Yes.
Because we're all trying to live without a hint of sexual immorality.
That's right.
And so I had to get used to it, but that was just because I hadn't had a friend like you before. And you had to probably have some grace. I'm sure I said some things along the way that was like, are you really saying that right now?
Yeah.
But you had grace. You are very good at helping me understand, like, you say this all the time, as much grace as I have to have for you, you have to have for me. And that definitely is true in this friendship.
Yeah. For sure. It definitely has grown. And y'all have been so kind to, like, even though that it's not different, but then there's the practical things that are different. So like, even like when we take trips together and you're like, the rule is, y'all are changing in the bathroom, you're not like in the room. If we're sharing a hotel room, like I always get my own bed. So it's like, I'm not tempted by y'all, but it's like, it's taking every measure, like taking an extreme precaution of like, I don't want the enemy to have any kind of foothold in that. So like, but y'all have been really helpful with
But we've had to learn that.
Yeah, but that was my point. Is like I've had to be like, let me explain this to you, and like this is how my mind could work. So like, let's just fight it together. Yep. And y'all have been very gracious to not make me feel abnormal, but just be like, that's how it looks like for you. Great.
It feels like brotherhood.
Yes.
In the sense of like, I didn't have a brother growing up, and so I haven't experienced that. But it's like we love each other like brothers. We love each other unconditionally, and like we struggle with different things, but we're like, it's who we are.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
that is right, and it's very, very kind and sweet.
I think people might hear what we're talking about and go why do all of this? Why meet? And it does sound crazy to someone who's not in on the journey or in the process of sanctification, you know?
Yes.
But I think just real practically, I am a happier person when I'm in the light, confessing, walking in transparency and vulnerability with you guys. I have more joy. I'm a better husband. I'm a better friend. I'm a better dad. I enjoy life more. But I think even more importantly than that, I feel aligned with God's heart, and I feel ready to participate with him in whatever he is doing in my day. Wherever I go, whoever I'm talking to, whatever he's asking me to do, I feel prepared and ready to take that on. When I'm living in the light.
Yeah.
And I have found that to be the most exhilarating life.
Yes.
When I'm participating with God in his kingdom purposes.
Yes.
And I can do that best when I'm aligned with his heart. And how do I align with his heart? I live in the light and I talk about this stuff. And yes, it's painful. Yes, it gets awkward sometimes, but the benefit so far outweighs what it costs to say all these things. And you can't really know that until you go there. You have to be willing to take that step and say the hard thing, confess the really dark secret or addiction, and find on the other side of that is a tremendous amount of abundant life and freedom.
Yeah.
And the enemy tells you confess these things, you say it out loud, and there will be even more shame, or there will be even more judgment. And you guys have talked about this so much, but I think what the Father wants us to know is that it's wide open arms. It's a truckload of grace, unending grace. And so I think that's why it's so important to us, is because we're three men on the journey to becoming more like Christ. And while we're here on earth, we want to be a part of what he's doing. We want to be a part of his kingdom advancing.
Yes.
And so that's really the why, undergirding all of this.
That is great. Kingdom purpose is primary.
I would even add though, if there's someone listening to this that doesn't really have a faith journey, or maybe you're really in the beginning of a faith journey, or you don't know any other Christian dudes, there's still some health in being real with some people. I mean, we've seen that in just around the world through different addiction groups, AA and whatnot. There is some real health. Now, I think when your why is a foundation of being a Jesus follower, it's different. We're not better than anyone. We just have a different maybe reason, but we were made. Every human on planet Earth was made for this kind of relationship, and most of us don't get to experience it, or it takes decades to experience it, and we're still trying to experience it.
Yeah.
One other thing, if I could turn, I think we're all dads of. We all have sons, and that really when you have a son and you realize, man, I want him to, and we all have great dads. None of us are have estranged relationships with our parents. But we want what we're experiencing for our kids. So I have a teenage son, and the fact that we meet weekly and he knows that we meet weekly, and now I can talk to him about that. And he and I have some similar conversations that the three of us have at times. But if I was just having that isolated with him, it would be different. And I think also our kids are realizing this is normal. Our boy, specifically our sons.
That's so true. It's so funny you say that, because I've been very excited about doing this episode. I think I've said that, but even taking my son to school this morning, he was like, Dad, what questions are you going to ask today? Or what are y'all talking about? And him seeing that this is just a normal rhythm for the way that I'm choosing to live my life, it gives me the backbone that when he is older, that I can look at him and say, hey, do you have that? And that he will see that I've modeled it well. And even though he doesn't know the necessary, what your struggle is, or what you're he's watching, and it's all teaching, and it's all shaping and forming him, because this is the man that I want him to be. And it's the fatherhood, the legacy that we're creating for our kids is really I mean, that's a big thing right now in my life. Like, I want to create guys to create legacy over your desires. Like, stop trying to feed your desires, but look at the legacy you're creating. And this is part of it. The close accountability for our kids, our sons to watch us. Say, I want what my dad did.
it's impossible to do alone.
It is impossible. It's impossible, but so many people try because it's just like, well, I think I can do it.
I'm tempted to try it because it's like, this is hard. That's like, hard. We have to be honest about that. Like, there's certain times. I remember there's been a time where all of us have sat around that coffee table or each other's house and are like, I don't want to share today. Not because of my sin, but just because I'm just tired. I'm worn out.
I don't want to go there.
Oh my gosh. So many times.
Can we just turn the TV on? Can we just not talk about it? And that's the beauty of the three strands is when I'm weak, you guys,
that's right.
You guys are strong.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And I think it's even in those moments that you're talking about, like I'm thinking about when I was so down in life. I mean, there was a lot of things, but I was just so down and I felt like such a broken record every time y'all ask. I almost did not want to come to meet with you guys because I knew it'd be my turn. And I would say the same thing that I said last week. And I did not want to do that again. And I was like, it'd be easier not to do this. And even when it got to me, I'm sure there were many times that I was just like, yeah, same as last week. But y'all, you still listened and I still showed up. And I think that over time it changed. So the seasons changed and I'm grateful that I stayed in it. And I'm grateful that I still showed up and said, I don't want to talk about it again. I'm just down again. I'm sorry for the broken record that I am. But I am so grateful that we stayed in it and the consistency that has built over time. It's like,
well, if you stay in it long enough, everyone is a broken record at some point.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's true.
I feel like that's life. Like you said, it's seasons. So we could write a book about the seasons that we've been through in the last 10 years in our marriages, in our life, in our ministry, in business and work, whatever. And imagine what the next 10 years would look like.
That's right. Y'all, it's the best to walk life together. It's better to run together and to encourage and spur each other on. I'm so thankful for both of you. I know that y'all will show up for me no matter what. You'll always be there for me. I hope I can be that for y'all, but you have truly shaped my walk with Jesus, which is the thing I'm most grateful for, that I want to be more like Christ because I walk with y'all and because y'all push me towards that and don't let me settle. So thank you both for loving me in the way that you have. And I hope it's been helpful to people listening today. And again, we're not perfect. We're just all in the journey of moving towards Jesus and being sanctified day by day. But we get to do it together, and you can choose to do that too. So we hope you do. Bryson, actually, will you pray for us at the end, just for the person that's listening that's like, I don't know a way out, or I just don't see somebody that's there. I don't know. I just feel like maybe end praying over that person.
Let's just pray. Before I pray, I just want to say, if you're alone today, you're not, God sees you. And so we just pray, Jeff, Kristian, and I are praying right now for you. This prayer is for you that Jesus, would you find each man or woman or teenager who's listening to this day, and will you just remind them that they are not hidden from you.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that there's men out there who are like, I want friendship like that and I can't find it or whatever. God, would you just answer that prayer for them? And would you allow them to kind of surrender that desire to you? And we just pray, God, that the people that want community and want relationship like this would be able to find it. I also pray against the shame. We just know that the shame is just a resounding gong in our lives, and we're not meant to live like that. And so I just pray against that for anyone right now. And Lord, would you just would you answer the desire of people's hearts of saying, I want to walk with some people And would you teach us how to walk with others? Would you teach us to be less selfish? Would you teach us to be better listeners? Would you teach us to be open to listening before speaking? And God, you can do all of that in us. And we're eager to hear the stories 10 years from now about how people didn't have a relationship like this with some other guys, and now they do, and what it means to them. We believe that will happen. And we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, Bryson and Kristian, for joining Jeff today. That was really rich and powerful. And I hope all you guys listening had some amazing takeaways.
Yeah, I just love doing that. And then the wives were in the room too, so they were sitting there listening, and then we went and just got lunch together, and it's just great to walk through life with people and be known. Right. So thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you guys back here on Open Spaces next week.